his 19-year-old girlfriend, Katie. Now, these two teenagers have a special bond that is maybe 1 in a million. So what is it that makes them the ultimate soulmates? Well, they're both transgender. That's right, Arin was born Emerald, and Katie was born Luke. Today, they're with us in this first exclusive daytime interview. This couple is here to share their love story, their struggles, and an important message about acceptance. Listen to their story.
From a very young age, both Katie and Arin realized they were different.
When I was younger, as a little kid, growing up as a little girl, you know, my mom put me in dance and put me in pageants, and I did all that fun little girl stuff. But as soon as I would be done with that, I'd run home, rip it off, go play in the dirt with the guys, and I just felt like I didn't fit in.
I knew at about the age of 4 that something was really wrong, you know, that I was never supposed to be a boy. I remember rushing to the bathroom, looking at my mom with just, you know, despair, and I was pulling on my penis, and I was screaming at her, you know, off, off, I don't want this on here, it's not supposed to be here. I felt really uncomfortable in the clothes and even my own skin.
Both children were bullied by their peers.
I was bullied in every way imaginable. Some of the names I was called was, you know, gay, lesbian, transvestite, tranny, and I've been punched and kicked and pushed and shoved and spat on.
I didn't have too many friends, and after 2nd grade, I really just stopped hanging out with a lot of people because they didn't want to hang out with me. I was the oddball.
After years of emotional turmoil, as teenagers, they convinced their families to help them transition from the sex they were born as to the sex they felt they were meant to be.
When I was about 15 years old, it came down to the deciding factor. Either I was going to transition and be male, or I wasn't going to be here anymore because I was so unhappy being female.
When I came out to my mom, and she looked me deep in the eyes and she said, I will do anything to make sure that you stay alive. I want you to write me a list of however many things you want to get done to make you happy, so I don't have to come home every day and be afraid I'm going to see you dead on the floor.
Both teens took drastic steps to change their appearance.
I had chest surgery to remove my breast within a year of starting testosterone.
To get on hormones and be called Katie, not Luke. She, not he.
All their young lives, these teens struggled in isolation, just wanting to be understood and accepted. With their transformations nearly completed, the only thing missing was that special someone. That's when lightning struck. Miraculously, the two strangers with uniquely parallel lives met, and they've been inseparable ever since.
Now, we're going to talk about your transitions in just a moment, but how did you two meet? Let's start with that. How did you meet?
Well, we first met at a transgender equality group meeting for transgender youth, and I walked in and I knew who she was immediately because I've read about her a year before transitioning, and she's like a celebrity to me, and I was like, wow, she's so beautiful, Mom. You know, you got to see her. And then, you know, 3 weeks later, I had a bad night at prom, got dumped on prom.
Really?
Yeah, women.
Yeah.
And, you know, I went and I saw her there, and I had to pick my jaw off the ground and said, finally got the confidence to ask for her number, and we just hit it off from there. Next day, we're on a date.
Wow. So, what was that first date like? Was it like, you know, wow, you've walked in my shoes, you know how I feel?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We just sat and talked about our old experiences, you know, what we liked, what we didn't like, and then we just basically said, you know, hey, it would just be perfect if we just switched, you know. We just switched parts and switched, you know, stories, and it would be a lot more comfortable and a lot easier in our lives.
Let's talk about clothes. So, why you're laughing. Where do you get your clothes from, Katie?
Him.
How can you say we have the same hip size?
Well, you know, I got rid of all my old boy clothes, you know, a long time ago.
What did you do with them?
I gave them away. I you know, burned some, honestly, you know, because I didn't want anything to do with it. And when we first started dating, we had this great idea because he had all these extra girl clothes that he wasn't going to wear, and he goes, well, hey, we kind of were the same size. How about I just give them all to you? And actually, this dress used to be his. Can you believe it? And
never wore it.
Never wore it.
Never wore it. What did you say when you first saw Katie in one of your old dresses? What did you think?
She looks better than me.
Now, let's come to those transitions. Now, you had your transition first, am I right, Katie?
Yes.
And what was that like? What did they do for people who have no idea?
Oh, well, the surgery is pretty complex. Basically, what they do is, in the simplest terms possible, they just turn it inside out. Like, they do the miraculous thing of they cut it and they just flip it inside out. And it's hard to understand it, but,
yeah.
You know, they cut off the testicles. It's called a vaginoplasty.
Was it scary before the operation?
Nope. No, not for me. As soon as I landed on the plane, I was like, roll me on a bed and cut me open right this very second. I don't care how much it hurts. I don't care, you know, how long it takes. And I just don't care. Get it over with. Right now, I want to be who I've always wanted to be.
I have to say, I know it sounds like a dumb thing to say, but I'm being honest, and a lot of people who are watching would think the same. It is hard to believe that you were ever a boy. And it's hard to believe that you were ever a girl. It really is. But let's talk, but you had to take, you both had to take hormone therapy as well. So first of all, with you, Katie, what differences did that make to you? Did it make you go all stupid like us? And
yes. Oh. Well, stupid like us, yeah.
You know, moody, and did it have that effect on you?
Estrogen doesn't really do that much, you know. Unlike testosterone, it doesn't really change too much of your features. It doesn't change, you know, your muscle growth or anything. I mean, it makes your hair shiny, makes it grow a little faster, makes your skin softer, but all in all, it doesn't change your voice. I mean, it makes like hair grow on your body a little slower, a little thinner, but all in all, that's it.
So let's come to you, Arin. Now, you started, I'm guessing, with the hormone therapy first. What did that do to you? Because, as you said, testosterone is a whole different ball game, I was going to say.
It's a very aggressive hormone. It did everything for me. I mean, it changed my voice within 2 days. I cracked my voice and changed my body structure. It placed my fat in different places instead of my butt or breast. It just started, I basically dropped fat, but I gained 30 pounds of bone and muscle, and it just changes everything.
Was it a weird sensation in many ways, or welcome but weird, or?
It wasn't weird at all, because it finally felt I was hitting puberty. You know, it felt like, oh, it's about time. This is what I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to live like.
So, can I ask, just in general terms, I mean, you're dating now, so are you intimate with each other?
Full dramatic effect.
I mean, that was admiring.
Yeah, that's a pretty common question, because it's a curious question. People want to know, you know, is there intimacy?
Because you haven't had you haven't had the whole operation yourself, have you? And you wouldn't get it, or you don't want it?
You know, if it was medically there, I would get it. But honestly, I don't want to lose sexual feeling, and that's a big chance when you get the surgery. Is you know, they take a skin graft off your leg and your arm, and it's very, very invasive, and there's a highly much chance you're not going to feel a thing.
So you want to wait until surgery?
I want it until it's medically higher.
Wait. Yeah. I get that. So does that leave out a love life? Can I put it that way at this moment? Is it more about?
It's a little bit harder, you know. It's no matching gear, and so there's not the intimacy isn't really.
It's not there.
It's not. Yeah, it's not there really.
Yeah.
But it's never about that.
Yeah, it's not
with
about
us. I mean, it's about the connection and the love that we have.
That's real intimacy.
Yeah, that's real. We both have walked in the same shoes.
And we're just, you know, we're so young, and we're just having a good time, having fun with each other, spending time with each other, getting to know what we still like, and where we are in life. You know, we're still babies, really.
Heck, I haven't even started college yet.
Yeah,
you know? I gotta graduate high school first.
And I'm in college, and I'm focused on my studies, and I focus on, you know, my future. And
what do you want to do in the future?
Pilot. I want to fly planes.
Yeah. And what do you want to do?
I always wanted to be a anthropologist or sociologist, but apparently everyone backstage thinks I should be a doctor or research facilities. They're on the way here. They said, Katie, this isn't really the Trisha show. We're actually holding an intervention for you to go to med school.
They want you to go to med school?
Yeah.
She has the mind for it. She's extremely intelligent, so I just wanted to be at her full potential.
The full potential. Now, we're talking about the transitioning, and you actually documented your breast removal surgery. It's only fairly recently.
Yeah.
Right. And you're going to share some video with us. So stay with us. We'll have that when we come back. Before the break, we were talking to Arin and Katie, the transgender teen couple who has piqued the curiosity of America. Now, as a parent, I can't help but wonder about the challenges facing the mother of a young child who wants to transition to the opposite sex. So let's find out. So joining us now is Arin's mother, Denise, and Katie's mother, Jaslyn. So Denise, I'll start with you. Did you want a girl or a boy when you were pregnant?
I really, really wanted a girl.
You got your wish?
Yes.
And you called her?
Emerald.
Emerald. Do you get teary when you look back at those photos?
Almost, yeah, I still do. It's getting better, but I still do.
What's the teary bit about?
Because you lose the mother-daughter relationship.
And we heard about Emerald going into all the pageants and dancing.
Yeah. She did awesome. She had gorgeous hair and, a cute smile and pretty eyes and, all the little things that you would want to throw your little girl into, and, we did that.
Were things sort of starting to develop at school that started making you question what was going on?
She was always like the loner. She was always like the different child. And that was hard to see, because I was thinking at home, she's such this cool kid. She climbs trees and she does pageants and she does dance and she's so well-rounded. But at school she just kind of slipped away, and she was kind of, she didn't fall into the male group or the female group. I didn't know what was wrong.
Did you see an unhappiness increase or some problems?
As when she hit puberty, that's when the real signs.
And for you, Jaslyn, though, what did you think about Katie? How was Katie's behavior different from the other boys?
About the age of 3, Katie started telling me that he wanted his parts off. Literally pull on it and say off, off. And then when he started school at the age of 5, it was just a fight constantly, because he just couldn't understand why he couldn't wear a dress to school. And so I just kind of started telling Dad, I said, you need to prepare yourself now that we're going to have a gay son.
Now, meanwhile, Katie and Arin, you're at school. Your mums are seeing it from the outside. What was happening to you at school? How were your peers? How were your school friends? Did they think you were a lesbian, or did they...
I wore a plaid skirt because it was a private school, and I walked like a dude in it, It's not, it was kind of there.
Yeah.
I could never walk like a girl and do what they're supposed to do. I just couldn't do it. But, it was cool because the first couple days of school, the new kids would come in, and I'd have friends for a couple days before people would actually tell them not to hang out with me.
And what about for you, Katie? What was happening? Meanwhile, what was happening for you at school?
Well, I went to a public school, so I had more restrictions. I covered my body because I was so ashamed of myself. I was ashamed of my body, and I would wear jeans in the summer and a big black coat to disguise myself. And so, I tried to be incognito so no one would pay attention to me. I did the exact opposite. I almost made myself want to be excluded so no one would judge me or hurt me.
Did kids judge you and hurt you and bully you?
Definitely.
What did they do?
From everything from verbal exclusion and physical abuse.
What, hit you?
Hit me, pushed me, shoved me, spat on me. I've had a lot of people spit on me.
How does that affect you? Because every kid wants to fit in. What did you cry? Did you act out at home? Did you just go into your shell?
I went into a deep, dark place. I was suicidal by the age of 7. That's how bad it was. Well, in Oklahoma, there's not very many people like me. I had no precedent to look up to whenever I was in
You just wanted out of the pain.
Definitely.
And did you know that? Did you know that?
I knew that she was suffering, but I didn't know. I just found out a couple years ago about the suicide attempts. You have to understand, we live in Oklahoma, and so it's a big Bible belt. Arin went through the same thing. He went to a Christian school or a Catholic school.
Were they accepting?
No.
They asked me to leave because I broke the honor code.
What was the honor code that you broke?
Just following the Bible. Just their honor code.
Just because I was different, and since I was starting to be more manly, they said I broke the honor code.
It was like a slap in the face. Your child is like
I mean,
I tried so hard to fit in for 12 years, and they said, you're not good enough for us.
That
and
was
you
our
got the
lowest point.
grown-ups that are shunning them too. It's not just the kids.
The parents?
The parents were more brutal than the children.
I've even had teachers at my public school show people, you know, interviews I've done or something and let them laugh at me. They, you know, they let the kids take out their iPhones and laugh at me.
Can I ask for both of you, the mums, what the real lowest point when you thought, this isn't just my kid being excluded or acting differently or anything like that?
My lowest point, and Arin's lowest point, was when he was asked to leave school. That night, he finally told me, I wanted to kill myself 4 nights ago. I actually called the suicide hotline. I was on the phone with them the entire night. I didn't sleep. And I said, why didn't you tell me? And he said, because, you know, this is what broke my heart, too. I said, why would you want to do that to yourself? I want you here as my child. He said, because you always told me your life's going to be so hard. Are you sure you want to go down this road? Are you sure? You kept telling me how hard it was going to be. He goes, well, if it's going to be so hard, why would I want to be here anymore? And, you know, as a parent, sitting there in that room with him at that moment and knowing that I didn't want to be any to blame for that. And I also knew how painful it must have been for him. And I looked down and the knife was still on the floor. And this was like 4 days before that. And I thought, I don't want to bury my child. And I think every parent needs to know they need to listen to their kid. You don't want to lose a child over it.
But you felt that low. What, did you think that with your mum saying that she'd finally gotten to a place where she really, really understood how much this meant?
She didn't really understand, but she came to a point where it doesn't matter if I understand or if I'm not on board with it. I need to do this for your mental happiness.
Yeah. Did that help? That must have been a load off your shoulders. What do we need to do to sort this out?
It took a while to get a load off my shoulders.
Yeah.
It took, you know, getting top surgery, you know, weight off my chest, literally.
Yeah. Yeah. What about for you, Jaslyn, then? When was that moment when you thought, oh, heck?
Ours was a lot more intense. I came home one day, and Katie was in her bedroom. As soon as she came home from school every day, she locked herself in her bedroom. We never saw her. And, you know, I had tried everything, and just something told me, you go to this door. And I went to the door, and I begged for her to let me in. And when I got in the room, Katie was in a fetal position and just wailing, because I could hear her crying. And the cry was just different than, I mean, she cried herself to sleep every single night for 8 years that I know of. And I had to go to sleep every night listening to her cry because I couldn't find a way to help her. And the whole time I just thought she was just trying to come up with a way to tell me she was gay. And I got down on the floor with her, and I just literally remember grabbing her and almost just in an anger, you've got to tell me, you know, what is wrong? I can't do this no more. I'm not going to watch you die. I'm just not going to do this. And I am not leaving this room until you tell me how I can save you. And I just remember, I'm like, you know, just tell me. And I said, you're gay. I know it. Just tell me. And she just looked at me and with this anger, and she's like, I'm not gay. I'm transgender. And I thought, I'm thinking transvestite. I thought, okay, so you want to dress up in girls' clothes. I got a whole closet in there.
And Katie gave you a list.
And I asked her, I said, you tell me what you want me to do. You make me a list, and I swear to God, if everything in my power, if I don't care, and if it kills me, I swear to you, I will complete everything on that list.
Just to keep her alive. So, Denise, coming back to you, and we were kind of almost joking before about the weight off your chest. How was it for you as a mom watching, you know, your daughter go through that operation, and there's no turning back from that?
I only had one sad moment, and it was after he was wheeled away, and I stood in the hallway before I went out to the waiting room with my mom, and my sister was waiting for me, and I had a little tiny breakdown moment, like, this is it. This is his final step, and it was the final step of letting go of Emerald and letting go of that female part of him.
Now, Arin actually you documented your chest surgery, and we have some exclusive footage to show everyone. Let's take a look at that.
From a very young age, both Katie and Arin realised they were different.
I knew at about the age of 4 that something was really wrong. You know, that I was never supposed to be a boy.
When I was about 15 years old, it came down to the deciding factor. Either I was going to transition and be male, or I wasn't going to be here anymore because I was so unhappy being female.
Both teens took drastic steps to change their appearance. Miraculously, the two strangers with uniquely parallel lives met, and they've been inseparable ever since.
Arin actually you documented your chest surgery, and we have some exclusive footage to show everyone. Let's take a look at that.
The day had finally arrived. Arin was going to take the biggest step yet towards transitioning into a man.
This is tissue that gets removed from liposuction. This is tissue that is removed surgically with scalpel electrocautery.
The time had come for Denise to say goodbye. Everyone was a bit nervous, but hopeful for what the future would bring.
Love you. See you when you get done.
Okay. Love you.
Bye. Love you, baby.
Ready? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm ready. It's going to be awesome.
The surgery to remove Arin's breast tissue took a total of 3.5 hours. After the successful operation, Denise was happy to be reunited with a groggy Arin and to share her feelings about the outcome of the procedure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I felt really loopy.
Do you?
Yeah, they put some morphine in me.
Okay. They said it looks really awesome.
Do they?
So, Katie and Arin, what do you think it's important for people to know?
We're just regular people trying to, you know, take back what we missed, part of our childhood, or whether that be our adult life. We are just trying to catch up and be happy. And
Katie, I know you're quite a powerful speaker, because I understand it was at one of your talks that you gave that you had an anonymous donor who paid for your college and all your operations, everything.
Yeah,
is that right?
Like I said, I was the first open transgender to ever graduate or come out in Oklahoma. I was the very first one. I didn't have a precedent to look up to. There was no one before me. And I was actually at this, it was a Jewish camp, and it was the subject of judgment. And when they called me up, I gave my 2-hour speech about my life, my memoir of my life, asked questions, and someone in the audience, you know, heard my speech, who told someone, who told someone, who told someone. And a couple months later, they called my mom on her birthday, and they said, we have some great news, and we have someone, anonymous donor, who wants to pay for Katie's surgery and her college and whatever else that she needs to get her through this time in her life.
I had completed everything on the list.
Yeah.
Except number 10, which was Katie's reassignment surgery. I don't make a whole lot of money, and I knew that was my hardest hardship. How am I'm never going to be able to complete this number 10. I wrote the donor a big letter, and I mean, there are no words that could ever express what this person has done for me.
I had to write a 5-page essay of why I wanted the surgery, what made me, you know, feel like I deserved it.
Did it save your life? Do you think it saved your life, this surgery?
Yes, it definitely did.
It saved your life.
I can only say thank you. That's all I
This
can.
person kept me from being a failure as a mother. I was able to complete my whole list. You know, I was able to keep my full promise to Katie because of this person.
When someone did this for me, if I ever make the money, if I ever make enough money or do something with myself, the very first, you know, amount of money that I make, it's going towards someone else's surgery.
Well,
that's
can
how
I
I'm
just
going to
say,
give
just
back.
by being here today, just by talking so honestly about what you all have been through, you've probably done what, you know, a lot of money couldn't do. Tell a lot of young people, a lot of people out there, that it's, you know, how they're feeling, there is a way forward and that there's a place for them in this world.
That's what my biggest point of the story is that it's not just about that we're normal. What I would tell people is that, for one, listen to the children.
Yeah.
That even though you think they're young and they might be ignorant or you think that they don't know what they want, you have to listen to them, because
it's not always a phase.
it's not always.
Usually
it's
Just for the same reason you know you're a boy or a girl,
And
they know
if
who
I was
they
to
are.
ask you, how would you know if you were a girl? You just say, I just knew. And that's how it was for us. It was
You
just
just
knew.
knew. I want to thank you so, so much for being here today. I really do. Okay. We have to take a break, but we'll be right back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking to a transgender teen couple and their moms about the challenges of transitioning to another sex. But families with even younger children are coming out and taking their stories public. Joining me now is Michelle. Up until last year, she had a little boy, an 11-year-old boy named Sebastian. Well, today, Sebastian has become Hannah. Listen to her story.
It was only recently that Sebastian told me he wanted to be a girl. Prior to that, growing up, he was very much the stereotypical boy, liked video games and superheroes. Flash forward, he's 11 years old, he goes out with family and comes back and tells me he wants a sex change operation. I was absolutely floored. I didn't encourage it, I thought it might just go away, but Sebastian persisted. He was telling the kids at school that he was a girl, asking to be called female names. It became apparent that this wasn't going away. Within a few months, we transformed Sebastian into the girl he would become, and we call her Hannah. The hair, the clothes, the makeup, we started hormones. I was going to do everything I could to help her be happy and to be Hannah. The hardest part for me emotionally is having to deal with other people's judgments. My biggest fear is that she'll have difficulty having a normal life, finding someone to love her forever, integrating into society. But I'm optimistic. Hannah's just started junior high. I'm anxious. You know, kids can be mean, but I'm hoping that with all the love and support that we've given her, that she'll get through it. I want for Hannah to grow up like every other child. There's no reason she shouldn't have what all the other kids have.
So, Michelle, you said judgment is the toughest part, because we didn't talk about that with the other moms, but what kind of judgments have been made about you because of Hannah?
You know, I think the hardest judgment came unexpectedly. I had a family member that we went to a family party, and she said to me, you know, I know why Hannah, or why Sebastian at that point wanted to be Hannah. And she said it was because I had given so much love and attention to my older daughter that Sebastian must want to be a girl so she could get the same love and attention. And that really took me off guard.
Now, you said it's not, you realised it wasn't a phase. So obviously, at first, you thought, what, this is just something he'll get over? Yeah,
well, you know, honestly, at that point, you know, I wasn't as educated as I am now, and people link gender identity with sexuality. And so I said, well, okay, so you're going to be a girl. Who do you like? Who are you going to date?
Yeah.
And, oh, boys. I said, okay, well, then you're gay.
Right.
And, oh, absolutely not.
So when did you start allowing Sebastian to even wear girls' clothes?
It took a couple of months. My older daughter was very excited at the prospect of having a younger sister, who she didn't have at that point. I have two younger sons. And we were going to a Pride event in Providence, and I felt this was a perfect opportunity because of the community that she'd be in, and she'd be accepted and I wouldn't have to worry. So my older daughter did a makeover, and the smile and the glow that just came from her, you know, I'd never seen anything like it. Did you feel then you were doing the right thing? The only thing is, because, you know, we've heard with the other mums, it took years and years and years of the anguish and the pain, and yet it's a different story with Sebastian or Hannah. How long has it been from the moment
Sebastian came back and said, I want to be a girl, to now. How long ago was that?
We're going on almost 2 years. It'll be in December.
Right. How were other kids with Sebastian becoming Hannah?
Now, honestly, that was a huge fear of mine. Hannah returned to the same school, so I figured there was absolutely no way that she wasn't going to be bullied when she went back.
Yeah.
And I did what I could. I contacted my local youth pride. I had them come in and do trainings. She actually went to her classroom, and she stood up in front of the class with the social worker at school and explained it to them. So we did as much as we could. And I have to say, with the support of the school department and the teachers, absolutely zero bullying all of 6th grade.
Wow. Now, Hannah says, you know, as you say, she's happier than she's ever been before, and she's living her life as a girl. So let's listen to this.
My name is Hannah, and I'm 12 years old. I was born as a boy, and I have a girl's mind. Like, I identified myself as trans when I was 12 years old. I used to stick my finger down my throat because I didn't want to go to camp at Sebastian. School has been so far good because I was nervous that kids would make fun of me. I started taking hormones 3 months ago, and I'm really happy. The hormones are going to help me develop breasts, make my hair softer, and I'm not going to get a period. I'm happier as Hannah because this is who I'm supposed to be.
Well, Hannah is only 12 years old, and we all agreed it would be better if we talked to her backstage where she feels more comfortable. So, let's go and see her. So, hi. Now, you started junior high. How's that?
Junior high has been good because I really think it's been so accepting of me.
Now, were you scared? Were you a little bit nervous about how the kids would be when you went to school?
Yeah, I was.
Butterflies in the tummy?
Yeah.
So, do you know what it means to be transgender?
Yes.
What does it mean?
Transgender is when you have a girl's brain and a boy's body, and you don't approve.
So, how do you feel at the moment? Do you feel like a boy or a girl?
I feel like I'm a girl.
So, what was the first time like? The first time you dressed as a girl, what did that feel like?
It felt like a burst of sunshine. Like I was opening up my brain and heart, like to who I am.
When you first looked in the mirror, what did you think?
I think that I looked pretty.
And was Mum happier, do you think?
Yeah, I think she got the clue somewhat.
What made you tell Mum? Was it, did you think I'm old enough now to tell her, or?
No, I heard on the radio that some guy had a sex operation, and I asked Mom, can I have a sex operation?
You're off to school.
Yeah.
Right, so we actually thought we would give you a little off-to-school gift. We're going to give you a shopping trip for school.
Oh my God, yay.
$500.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And with Mum's permission, maybe we could also throw in there a trip to the hairdressers.
She desperately wants to put highlights in her hair.
And finally, would you like to meet Katie?
Yes. I love that because I can't wait to meet the couple. They seem so nice.
Have you heard about Katie?
Yeah, I have.
So we'll get you and Katie together to spend some time together today. Do you like that?
Yes. Sorry.
Is that okay, Bob?
Yeah, Bill, that's fine.
That's fine. I want to thank you both, all right, for being here. It's really sweet of you to come here today, and good luck.
Can I get a hug?
Yeah.
I knew at about the age of 4 that I was never supposed to be a boy.
Either I was going to transition and be male, or I wasn't going to be here anymore because I was so unhappy.
He's 11 years old and tells me he wants a sex change operation.
You feel like a boy or a girl?
I feel like I'm a girl.
Would you like to meet Katie?
Oh my God, can I get a hug?
Oh, it's so nice to meet you.
Right?
You are very special, and you're just unique. You are your own person. You belong in this world.
I feel really honored to meet you too.
You're so sweet.
I'd just like to acknowledge the courage and bravery of our guests today. The world can be a really rough place, and these fine young people have taken the road less travelled in pursuit of their own true peace and happiness. I want to thank you for watching. Take care.